in the materials section of the course, I put the old stuff toward the bottom. So the roller coaster projects at the bottom, then the hovercraft, the bridge. This folder that says remote learning materials, November and December. That's the remote learning materials from between Thanksgiving and our winter break. And then there's a folder here that says solar car project, current activity. So we're going to build a solar car in this course. It's a solar powered car. And if you click on the solar powered car project or solar car project folder, you'll find the solar car design activity. That's exactly the same as the assignment that's on the right-hand side of your screen. I've also put a link to it in the plan for this week. So the plan for this week is that today and tomorrow and Wednesday, you have time to work on the solar car design activity. And it's really not that difficult to do. I'll show you what you got to do. On Wednesday, I'll introduce the solar car race activity. So there's the solar car design activity, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, solar car race activity, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So by Friday, you will have completed the solar car design and the race activity. So to help you out with that, let's see, Shania is here. Okay, so when you click on the solar car design activity, either on the right-hand side in the upcoming or in the folder for this week, you'll see a SharePoint file. And as soon as it opens up and you type in it, that's yours. It'll, when you hit submit, it'll come to me. So this thing says designing solar cars, and it's about this video series called Racing with the Sun. And I'm going to show you where that is on YouTube. But this is a sample of a solar powered car that we build in the class. And it's kind of a simple solar car. So how it works is there's some wheels. You can have 3 wheels or 4 wheels, but you got wheels on your car. Someone else coming in. And the solar car is quite simple. You have a solar panel that collects light from the sun, or we also have these very bright lights, spotlights we can use in the class. And whenever the sunlight shines on the photovoltaic cell, it generates an electric current. And in your solar car, it's going to run a motor. That motor has a couple gears that then drive the car forward. And you want the car to be able to go as fast as you possibly can. So this is the like model of the solar car that you're going to construct. And it's not a difficult project. It actually takes not a whole lot of time. It's about as easy, maybe even easier than the hovercraft project. So a solar car can be very simple in that really all you just have is a solar panel and an electric motor. Electric motors are very simple and they're very robust. They last a long time. There's very little maintenance. There's not many moving parts. So it's a whole lot more reliable and a lot less maintenance than like a gasoline engine. But the challenge is you don't get a whole lot of power on the panel. So it's simple, but it's also challenging in that you got to be able to get a substantial amount of power from a fairly small amount of area. Now, there have been huge advances in electricity storage, in batteries, and in solar cell technology. So there's a design competition called the World Solar Challenge. And the World Solar Challenge is held in Australia. And there's a couple of reasons why it's held in Australia. But I've got a link within the document. It says bit.ly/topics solar trailer. And this is a short trailer, like a short intro to the World Design Solar Challenge. Let me see if this audio is going to be good.
In World Solar Challenge, it's like the Formula One of solar cars.
44 teams from 21 countries are in Darwin, Australia, in a high-tech convergence of man and machine.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There's nothing like a competition to really get people innovating, trying to beat each other.
Pushing the boundaries of technology is very important. We also care about the environment.
Climate change is a big issue in the world.
These teams have designed and built vehicles powered only by the sun. They will attempt a 2,000-mile endurance race straight through the middle of the outback.
It is the premier, most difficult solar race in the world.
Stop responding. I'm so ready for game.
Oh my God. Only one will bring home the trophy.
That was kind of loud. Hold on a second. There we go. I don't know. I think that sound was right. That sound okay? I think I got it right. Sounded good. Was it like all choppy? Did it cut out, or was it like smooth? I tried to listen on another thing. I don't know. Okay. So that's a brief introduction to the project. Now, that is a series. There's a series of like 8 movies, and you're not going to watch all of them. But the first one says engineering the world's fastest solar race cars. So this is 23 minutes, and you can get to it by clicking on it here. But the real way to get to it is right within the paper. It says your job is to watch the second episode of Lightspeed, engineering the world's fastest solar cars. See the design and engineering that teams go through to prepare their cars for the race. It's about 23 minutes. If you copy and paste this link, it'll take you to the exact same place as where it says episode 2. Some of the episodes aren't open yet, and that's because you have to have YouTube Premium to get to the newest ones, but they'll eventually open up. And you're not going to watch all of them. I just want you to watch this first one. So the first one shows you about the different teams from around the world. It's a worldwide competition. And these teams come from universities. They are private organizations. Many of the teams are actually undergraduate teams, or they're teams of people who are in their first few years of college. Some of them are literally college freshmen. They're 18, 19 years old. And they build these cars that have solar panels on the top, but the cars can also have batteries to be able to store electricity. And they're peculiar looking, and that's for a few different reasons. You don't get a whole lot of energy from these solar panels, and they're limited in how much power they're allowed to use. They can't just have as much solar as they want. There's a limit. So that makes it especially hard. But the cars have to be able to legally drive on the road. They have to meet different safety standards. So all throughout the film, you'll see interviews of people talking about what they went through to design the cars. You'll see some teams from the Netherlands, some from Japan, some from the United States, some from Germany. They're from all over the place. And what you should do is preview these questions. And they're actually kind of in order of things that are presented in the film that I want you to think about. There's some basic stuff. How often is this challenge held? How often do they hold the race? Is it every week, every month, every year, every 10 years? How often? And how long is the race? What's the distance? And then some things that are true that you'll catch on as you go through, but why are the cars as lightweight as possible? Why is it useful and important for the cars to be not heavy? There's a team that's focused on in the film called Team Vattenfall. They're from the Netherlands. They've won 7 of the last 9 races. And it turns out the 2 that they didn't win, they finished in second place, which is pretty good. But they have a special design feature. There's something special about their car this year. And they talk about what's special about the car and why that feature is useful or important with any of the cars, but they think they have a special advantage. There's a team from the United States, from Stanford University. Stanford's in Palo Alto, California, right in Silicon Valley. And they talk about the challenges of being a driver. Why is it hard to drive these cars? Why isn't it just like driving a regular car? What kind of people drive them? What do they go through as they're driving the cars across Australia? Why do the cars have to be aerodynamic? That's the ability for the car to pass through the air with little atmospheric drag. They talk a lot about aerodynamics. But the last third of the episode talks about an inspection. The race officials do an inspection of the cars. And there's a bunch of different things involved with the inspection. But what's important about the inspection? Why do they do the inspection? Why is it important for the cars to pass? Those kind of things. So your assignment, you have today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, is watch that 23-minute film and reflect upon the kind of things that you might want to do when you build your solar car. So what can you do to make this car go as fast as possible based upon what you see in the film? So there are specific things about size, the shape, the placement of the wheels, the weight, uh, the direction of the solar panels relative to the sun. You'll see that they can move the panels on some of the vehicles. And why would you want to do that? So that's how it goes. I'm not going to keep you anymore. I've got you all written down for attendance. You need to complete these assignments in order to get credit. So there's going to be 2 this week. There's this designing solar cars project. You watch the film, reflect on these things, and submit it. Then on Wednesday, I'll tell you about the one about the race. So the rest of the series has like 8 different days of the racing. And you're not going to watch all of them, but I'm going to have you watch like part of a particular day to look to see what is difficult or challenging. What are the kind of things that they go through on a daily basis in order to complete this race? They go the whole way across Australia. It's equivalent to driving like from here to Florida, and they get it done in just a few days. It's a pretty extraordinary race. They go through an awful lot, and you'll see why they use Australia. That's what I want you to think about. What's challenging about doing this race in Australia? What's good about doing it in Australia? It's always done in Australia. I mean, they could move the race to somewhere else, but it just turns out they do it in Australia. So that's how it goes. You will find that in the on the right-hand side on the upcoming list. It's the only thing in the upcoming. And you'll also find it in the current folder, Solar Car Design Activity. The first link is that trailer I showed you, but the second link in the document is the 23-minute film. It's all kind of self-explanatory. Everything I'm just told you about here is recorded. I'll put it in the classroom in the plan for the week, so you can watch this over again if you need to. But otherwise, that's that. You've got lots of time now because this class goes until 12:45. So, I mean, that's a full hour. This film is 23 minutes. But you got to make sure you check in every day. Check in every day to every class. Make sure you check in tomorrow. I'll take questions tomorrow and help you out with whatever you need. Otherwise, you've also got tomorrow to work on it too. All right, any questions? You can put questions in the chat. You can turn on your mic. Hopefully you had a good break, a relaxing break. You stayed safe. I don't know if we're gonna, I just don't know if we're coming back next week or what. Any questions? All right, well, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll work on that project and make sure you keep it real. Deuces.
Can I leave the Zoom? I can't hear anything. Are you talking?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Yeah. Were you listening or not?
No, like nothing was coming out my computer, so I thought we were all just standing here.
Well, I mean, sometimes people stay because they want to stay. Sometimes people stay because they don't know class is done because they don't have their sound on.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, you know what you need to do with the solar car design activity?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is my sound good?
All right.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can now. Like before, I could see you talking, but there was no sound coming through, so I just thought you was on mute. But then I looked, and your thing didn't say mute, so I thought it was my computer.
Oh, must have been your computer. Yeah, was it yours? Like you didn't have your sound up?
No, like my sound is up, but it was like all I could hear was like the background noises, but not your voice.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know.
All right.
Okay, cool. All right. Keep it real.